if you guys don't know Link, just brief introduction on yourself for 2 seconds. 1, 2. No, go ahead.
Link. Awesome.
Link, high 6. Where are you from?
North Carolina.
High 6, North Carolina. I thought you were from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Is that working? It's on. It's green.
Pete will do it. You're good.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Pete, where
Sneaky
you at?
Pete.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Let's walk through this deal. All right. Give us a quick synopsis on motivation.
Okay, so I sent out a postcard, and I found a seller who wasn't living in the house. He had bought a relatively, mostly renovated house, finished the renovations, thought he was moving in, decided he didn't want to, and he returned my postcard. Called, we talked. It was a house that he was going to list for sale by owner because he owed too much, hadn't lived in, and just wanted to do something with. Wanted to maximize what he was going to get out of it. Didn't want to be a landlord, he just wanted out.
All right. Tell us the source.
So the source is a for sale by owner.
Sell by owner.
Postcard. Actually, a non-owner occupied postcard is what it was, but it was a for sale by owner.
But you didn't know that, so it just went out?
Yes.
Okay.
I knew it was non-owner occupied.
All right. Purchase price.
Purchase price was $62,000.
All right. For what type?
Sandwich.
Sandwich. How long?
24 months.
What was that?
24 months.
Huh?
24 months.
You think we can convert that?
Probably down the road.
I don't know. He's pretty uptight.
Oh, we can convert it.
I'm not sure. 24. He might go 18.
Are we sure we want this guy to
He
coach?
might go 18 if I talk to him.
Yeah, right. All right. What'd you sell it for?
I sold it for $89,000.
Okay. For 24 months, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the rest of the story.
All right.
24 months, yes. Paul and Joanne said 6 to 9 months. So.
Okay.
Good.
There is some light at the end of this tunnel. Okay. All right, payday number 1.
Payday number 1's gonna be $9,000. But here's what's interesting. When I got the call from them, it was a lead that Craig sent. Turns out they didn't have the $5,000. They were going to borrow it from the credit union.
Okay.
Which we can't borrow down payment. But I talked to Chris, and we came up with a plan where essentially we took it as a security. We're going to apply the first in the security, or the first in the admin, and then they're going to pay $1,000 a month instead of $700 a month, and build all that money back in. So basically, I got an extra $3,500 down payment, and then they're going to catch up. If the extra money applies at the end towards the purchase, great. If it doesn't, it's just there.
Okay, so just to make this clear, so you took $5,000 down, but you're considering what? Part of it as a security deposit? I just want to make sure everyone's...
No, what it is normally it would be the first payment, $595 admin, and then the rest of it would be considered down payment or deposit towards the purchase of the house. But because it is borrowed money, I told them we're not going to consider that. We need to come up with a plan to build the entire $9,000 towards the purchase in the event that the mortgage company won't count that $3,600 at the end.
Okay.
So even though we had the money, they're clear we're not necessarily counting it as down payment. So it was a way around the fact that it was borrowed money.
Okay, and you're getting a... Do you want to add to that, Chris?
Yeah, so it could be construed, just so you guys understand what he's saying, as bank fraud, right? So 2 years from now, this buyer goes in and gets a bank loan, they got to sign a thing saying that they didn't borrow money. You can't borrow money for down payment, and any loan I've seen. So just to stay away from that gray area, that's why we did that. And then you just throw out admin fees. So let me just explain. If you're not in the associate group, in the buyer LOI, at the buyer signing, they pay the down payment, they pay the first months, which goes in your pocket if you did it right, not the seller's, and they pay a $595 admin. That's what we do. $450 of that goes to our attorney, the rest goes in our pocket. We bonus it out to our assistants, but that's why we do the admin fee, since he brought that up.
Okay, and then is that $300 a month count towards that $9,000?
It does.
Okay.
And then $1,000 at each of the next tax refunds, it gets them to the $9,000. So if the mortgage company will count it, they've got an extra $3,500 towards down. If they won't count it, I'm taking it off the price. But I got it up front. It's an extra security. payments are $420 a month, so, I mean, it's
Cool,
8
awesome.
months worth, 8 months worth of payment.
Perfect example there of, I think it was mistake number 4 of being inside a box. Talk about getting creative. Okay, payday number 2.
Payday number 2 is 24 months at $580 a month, $13,920.
Good numbers in a little house, huh? You guys?
Say 13,920.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice. It's like, okay, and then pay number 3. So principal pay down.
Principal pay down's $100 a month because it was a brand new loan, and
Okay, so times 24.
$2,400. And then the difference of the $89,000 minus the $9,000 is $80,000, which is price that didn't come as down payment, minus the purchase price of $62,000 is another $18,000.
Okay, so you got 18,000 on back end premium.
Correct.
I think the total will be good.
Total?
$43,320 on a house I paid $62,000 for. I've invested $0.
And you got creative in order to make that happen.
Right. And
Yeah.
I've got a seller who is tickled to death that he doesn't have to live in this house.
Tickled to death, not tickled pink, tickled to death. I don't know, maybe tickled red a little bit?
No, just
Awesome.
pink.
All right. So pretty cool deal there, huh? 43,000 on a $69,000 house. That's a nice return on investment. Low price property. So you don't have to do these like Bill does them in the $1 million+ range. Links create some really nice profits in the lower price ranges. So you can do them in any market. It's pretty cool.
Maybe some Q&A for Link?
Yeah, anybody have any questions
The
on
box
this?
is right there, Zach, behind the whiteboard. Questions for Link? The deal structure always sparks the most. Oh, I noticed how conservative you were. You just don't want to have any errors.
Yeah. I did long snap in high school. I could get a nice spiral on that if you guys want to see that.
That house. I'm just concerned, the ARV on that house, I'm just concerned at how they're gonna get financing on such a tight deal, 24 months out.
Well, I don't, it appraised for roughly what I'm buying it for, but between the down payment, the payment offset, and the additional down payment, plus the appreciation, the neighborhood itself is appreciating pretty rapidly. It's undergoing a pretty significant gentrification, and there's a lot of upside for this house. They've torn down a couple. All 3 houses all of the houses directly around it are all currently undergoing renovation. So I wasn't too worried about it, and then we'll tackle that down the road. It's going to be a VA loan, 5% down. So I'm going to have 10 down. They're going to be 5. I've given them a small monthly payment credit as an offset to ensure that they make the payments on time, because it's a young couple, and I want to make sure that they get the credit set up, get it going, get it moving in the right direction. And I may need that at the end to kind of offset the price a little bit anyway. So.
And did you say ARV? Like after repaired value? I mean, this property I'm assuming is
Well, I
It's
just
in good
assumed you
condition,
meant,
right?
what would it appraise for?
okay.
So you said something at the end, that answered that piece, but you said something at the end, that's a good technique, we talked about it in the overall scheme here, because if you're gonna put someone on a payment plan, it's not as much as you want up front, just tie it to it's gotta be on time every month, or they don't get credit for it. Or they're in default of their option, like really tie them to perform every month. So that only goes into play, that deposit credit, if they're not late ever. That's pretty cool. It's insurance.
Any other questions? All right. Toss the box. Yeah. Hike! I know, I've been known to throw like Tom Brady.
So, a couple of questions, actually. You said it appraised for, did you get it appraised before,
No, I did a
based on your?
estimate based on
comp?
the area, yeah.
Okay.
Prop stream.
And then the other thing, the borrowing for a down payment, new to me. Can they borrow against their 401k for that?
Yeah,
Without being issued?
there are a variety of
There's
things they
exceptions.
could do, but I mean, it's a young couple, they don't have any 401k.
Right, but is that an acceptable borrow?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. And
Well,
It's
that's their
acceptable by
money.
lending guidelines, but we've run into trouble in our properties, one most recently in Connecticut. We've since turned it around and we're out of it. But this guy came in, he was going through a foreclosure 2.5, 3 years ago. Every penny of the 25 was 401k. It's the weirdest thing, but several of these, because it was all from their 401k, it's like it's not their money. And we've had defaults, as strange as that sounds. So we want to know the source now, big time. Like, where's this
Okay.
coming from? I'm borrowing it all from my parents, no good. If there's other things
Yep.
in place to offset it, but in general, no good. I'm borrowing it all from my 401k, not good, not great.
Can be a gift though, no? Parent
Well,
gift within the
lending-wise, yes. I'm saying our palette is if they're borrowing it all, they have more chance of defaulting in the rent-to-own.
And I have that
Yeah,
conversation.
lending-wise, sure.
Oh,
I have
so
that
lending-wise is
conversation.
okay, it's just
Yes,
covering
just us.
your, as far as who the buyer is?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I'll have that conversation with them, like, you're borrowing all the money from your 401k, I mean, you know, does that matter to you? I mean, like,
Yeah.
I want to hear them say, yes, that's my life savings.
Yeah, yeah,
That's right.
definitely.
If you're trying to get them to perform, right? You're trying to get them to close you out in a shorter period of time, then borrowing it all isn't, what we've noticed, isn't the best.
Right.
If you're
Sub 2.
Yeah, if you want it to be a longer term deal, then borrowing it, I mean, if you don't want them to cash you out in a short period of time, then that can be okay because they can extend it as long as needed.
Right.
So if those guys got, Steve and Lauren, if they got a heavy percentage of theirs borrowed, but they own it sub 2, I don't say who cares, but almost who cares, because
If-
it's their risk.
What we've noticed is we take a smaller down payment, but knowing it's like coming from their savings account and they've worked for that money, that's more likely they're going to
Feels more
perform,
secure.
especially if it's in a shorter term.
Here's another quick piece to that. They went to Navy Fed, and within an hour, they had the money. So that tells me they've got a great relationship with Navy Fed.
Yeah.
They're going to have another credit line that they will have paid off when it's time to get a mortgage. Navy Fed will love them. They'll have an experience. It'll be 10%, almost to the price of the house. I mean, there were several pieces here that made it really a wise decision, even though it was unorthodox.
A lot of nuances, huh, on these deals?
Yeah.
Good to have a sounding board right here in the room.
Sorry, don't mean to monopolize, but still back on the borrowing. If they borrow a conventional loan or a short-term loan, and that's paid off before they go to mortgage the property, is that still considered, what did you call it, Chris, fraudulent? or-
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a mortgage officer, so
I
I don't
know,
want to
I
go that, I
know,
honestly
but-
don't want to go that deep, but, because the loans change every month, so I don't know.
Okay. All right.
It's not a good plan. I mean, if it's the only plan you've got and it makes sense to make the deal, just like this. I mean, they borrowed the money. Here's what, essentially, they borrowed the money so that I would say yes to accepting them to build their down payment monthly. That's what happened.
Right.
That is what happened in this deal. They didn't borrow the money for their down payment. They borrowed the money to secure the house with me.
Yep.
And that's what I'll say. I mean, because that's what my agreement says. It doesn't say that that's down payment. It says that
Yep.
it's,
And here's the punchline, are you going to really lose sleep with is it 420? It's got a glare on it.
yeah,
Are
420.
you really going to lose sleep if they leave tomorrow?
Nope.
$420. It was an easier decision.
On a
Yep.
brand new renovated house.
Thank you.
Nice. All right, toss it around. I'm not getting
About
up.
3 minutes.
Oh, nice hands.
All right, Link, did you, can you give a quick description of your postcard?
It's
You
on
can put it on Slack.
Yeah, it's on
I think I've
Slack.
seen it, but I don't know, I'm sure everybody else,
Everybody's on Slack.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying,
And
for
if they're
people
not,
who,
they should be.
for people who haven't seen it, but,
They'll see it when they join, associate.
okay.
All right, Bill, there goes your answer.
Thank you, Chris.
This is private stuff,
About
right,
3
Mike?
o'clock.
That's right.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up. We'll take one more question if you got it.
Oh, boy.
Roger, oh yeah, he had his hand up a while ago.
The
Come on, do it.
Roger Campbell Sr.
Roger, I was at work when I made this deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, it's a 24-month, right? Yeah, so that's my question. What are the factors that made you go with that short of time?
The seller was just a really odd person. I mean, and he struggled with the concept. He doesn't have a lot of equity. I figured with a low payment and a small house and a limited amount of equity, I figured worst case scenario is I'll do a sub 2 in a year and get him out and get rid of him. But I had to get it moving, and that's what it took to get it moving forward, essentially. Just like I said yesterday, make the deal and then see if I can make a deal that makes sense with it. And that was what I had to do to make it work.
Roger, could he go back and do sub 2 as he said? Could he for that small amount probably raise enough money within the associate community and buy the thing? I mean, he could get out of that very easily.
Especially with nice spreads like
Yeah,
that.
that's easy.
Low-end property, and then just setting up note school. I mean, Andrew's gonna talk about that on how that'd be a really really simple deal in order to do that.
I think we're there.
Cool.
Thanks, buddy. That was awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Blake. Let's put it down.